I don't want to have to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. This is the weekly watch list call. Let's get it.
Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. We going straight to the moon. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. We going straight to the moon. I made 1,000%. Cut the reverse of the deal.
Pack. It's your boy FICO Jordan back again for another weekly watch list call. This one's coming in late on a Sunday. Why? Well, a lot of poaching going on, and the pack members thought, you know what, roll the clock back so they can't feast off of our list. Y'all like the format from last week? We just gonna get straight to it. Last week, I gave you the setup on SPX and SPY. Broadening formation, reversal, time frame continuity, the formula that we tell pack members that they need to be using to see if the setup is going to be relevant. I outlined it right there for you. I told you the week to finish red because we had a shooter off the top of that broadening formation, and that would in turn flip continuity on the month, turning the month into a shooter. Do we need to rewind that for you? I don't know. Okay, go back to last week's watch list. You'll see it right there. Now, pack members understood the reasoning to all of this. If you don't get the why or the how, and you think that I'm Negro Dominus all of a sudden, it's not rocket science. Simple price action. You just need to be able to decipher what's happening underneath the hood of what you see in the candles. Simple as that. So, before we move forward, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe, and I need you to click the notification bell so you don't miss any of these watch lists going forward. Every week, we are giving away free setups, free plays, so you can go make money to build on your portfolio. And every Friday, we do Bring a Friend Friday. So leave some comments below. Let us know if you want to trade with us on a Friday. You can come in on a Thursday evening, check My Resume 0-day call. You can get an understanding of what it's like to find one of these setups that turns a little bit into a lot. They're not lottos. They're very high calculated plays. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and jump into that market update so I can tell you I told you so again. Now here we are with SPY. As you can see here, we went through that target, went 2 pivots below on the week, down in the bottom right, and knocked that one out. Didn't seem like it if you looked at how things finished on Thursday, but the setup was there. Price action is always going to reveal itself through series of broadening formations, and look, we can get into all of that. So we now are full time frame continuity to the downside to the month. We got a little bit of ways to go for the quarter, but trust me, it's still coming. 122 on the month setting up, just like I told you last week. Now, if we go ahead and look at QQQ, same exact situation. If we look at the Dow, same exact situation. If we look at the Russell, we are literally sitting with an inverted hammer on the week, 2-2 reversal on the 2 week here, and we are setting up that to flip continuity red starting the month. All shooters on the month, just like I said last week. Let's go ahead and jump right into materials. We have a little conflict. We have a red day, green week, though being a shooter. We have a red 2 week and a green month. I don't want any parts of materials currently at the moment. We have full time frame continuity on XLC to the downside. We did have a red day on energy, but energy's full time frame continuity to the upside. 322 on the month, as you can see here, and we do have a target of roughly around 93.60 on the month up there. So oil still cash right now. If you look at financials is full time frame continuity to the downside. Once the 2 week 2-2 reversal occurs and it hits target, that will flip continuity down on the month. If you look at industrials, same situation. 2-2 reversal target on the 2 week will flip the continuity in the month. We only got 3 days left, so pay very close attention to that getting there. Now, I want to follow the strength to the downside. You're going to notice the setups that myself and the bros have is following that trend specifically. Don't fight against the current. This has all been in the works before we were getting to September and QT. Full time frame continuity on tech to the downside. Now we have an inverted hammer on staples. 2-2 reversal to target will flip continuity on the month. We have a full time frame continuity on real estate. We currently have, let's see, okay, so on utilities right now, you get a 2-2 reversal on the 2 week. You're going to flip continuity with a 1-2-2 starting next month, going to the downside. Could see some room quickly on utilities. Healthcare got smacked on Friday deeply. Yes, and full time frame continuity on that and discretionary. Let's go ahead and check in with Boss Gang VIP. Look, this week is split. We have 3 days of August, 2 days starting September before we jump into Labor Day, which we are completely closed that day. Boss Gang, what exactly is the sentiment for these last 3 days historically finishing the month of August?
Appreciate that, FICO. Last week was an amazing week for the pack. We made a lot of money. There was a lot of volatility. They had the Jackson Hole meeting. People were anticipating that. So we saw with the numbers that were released and the information that was given, we had a huge drop in the market. We took out an entire month's worth of gains in a single day. Monday is August 29th. August 3rd to last trading day, the S&P has been up 18 years in a row from 2003 to 2020. August next to last trading day, which is Tuesday the 30th. S&P has been down 17 of the last 25 years, and the last trading day in August, the S&P has been up 13 of the last 22 years. First day trading in September, the S&P has been up 14 of the last 26, but down 9 of the last 13 sessions. Also, Labor Day, September 5th. So keep that in mind for next Monday. The markets will be closed. Also, just for educational purposes, September is the beginning and end of the current financial year. This is when all the hedge funds and all the mutual funds will actually what they call clean house. So they'll add to the positions that they have conviction in and take profits in other positions, or all cut positions altogether. So this is the new year. Get prepared for us. A lot of times when we get these rotations, they'll happen and we'll get the signs of the new year. The money won't flow in all at once, but it'll trickle in over time. And it is our job as traders to find where the money resides. And that's absolutely what we're going to do this week, like we always do. Back to you, FICO.
Appreciate that, Boss Gang. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the setups that I have for you guys. And just kind of show you what I'm paying attention to this week. Short side, I have nothing long currently other than, I want to say, PBR. And I'm currently in SPX 4000s for September and for Monday. Monday's finished up 552%. You had to be here to see how that one smacked. So I'll let you guys know how that updates on maybe Tuesday or something like that. So first thing I'm going to be paying attention to is Wells Fargo. On Wells Fargo, you can see here, 2-2 reversal on the week. We do have an inverted hammer on the week. Going to start right into a 2-2 reversal to the downside on the 2-week chart, bottom left here, which will flip continuity to the downside, setting me up for a 1-2-2 to the downside, putting us at a targeted low of 36.51. I like the move on that, and the contracts, there are some bodies there. They will definitely run. Retail will come late to the party. If you trade the strat, especially the way we do, looking for cascading setups, or as the homie Adex likes to call, trigger machine guns, we know that these setups have the tendency to float. So we are going to be well ahead of retail before this goes off, and you get the benefit from it. So always remember, price precedes volume, volume precedes news, news precedes retail. Got it? Let's go. Next ticker, Citibank. Same situation, except on the 2-week, we've already hit a 3 to the downside. As you know, a 3 is a reversal in itself. So we are getting ahead of a month trend of getting this 2-2 reversal, taking us back down to the low 43.39. I'll be paying very close attention to this because we don't have another pivot until 46.17 with a big gap fill back down to 44.56. That has my attention. It definitely should have yours. Next ticker, Goldman Sachs. rolling into a 2-2-2 week with an inverted hammer. Full time frame continuity to the downside. Once our 2-2-2 week hits target at roughly 327.47, this will turn continuity green. So remember, all the setups you're ever going to see from me are always going to be trading into full time frame continuity. That target taking you back down to the low of July will be flipping continuity on the quarter, setting up a 3-2-2 on the month back down to the downside. Let's look at kitty 1-2-2 on the 2 week, setting up inverted hammer on the week. So we have full time frame continuity to the downside. 1-2-2 puts us back down at about 172.97 as that first target. We had a double inside week break to the upside, failed to get over this broadening formation that it's setting up here. Then we have a 3 reversal in itself on the week, back down to the downside. Definitely got to check out Caterpillar. Your trigger entry is going to be the low of this past week. Make sure you get that set. Next ticker, LMT. LMT, similar situation. Now, some of these tickers, I believe the bros are going to have, and we're definitely going to be in agreement with, because I know probably Mr. Check My Resume has definitely seen inside bar on Lockheed Martin to the downside. So 2-1-2 reversal to the downside. Entry trigger is going to be the low of the week, setting up shooter 2-2 reversal on the 2 week, hitting target with flip continuity on Lockheed Martin on the month red. So right back in the full time frame continuity, which this one at that point would be trading back in the full time frame continuity, full red quarter, all of it. So that definitely has my attention. Next up, Philip Morris. We have 2-2 or Philip Morris, just strength to the downside. My entry trigger is going to be continuation off of the 3 on the day. Pivot machine gun to the downside on the week. Typically don't look for those, but I need this 3-2 setting up a 2-2 reversal on the month. We are full time frame continuity to the downside. I'm going to follow that strength back down. Next ticker, catch up, KHC. We are inside month currently. 2-1-2 reversal to the downside on the 2 week at target, flips continuity, full red. We are currently a failed 2 up, which will be a 1-2-2 reversal on the week, which puts us at around 37.65, which is halfway through the two weeks ago on that setup there, which puts us just at getting to the point of flipping continuity. We'll already have set off the trigger for the 2 week, getting the target back down at 36.58 in that range, which will completely have flipped the month into an inside bar shooter. So 2-1-2 to the downside, 3 days, we got it. Let's look at Costco. Shooter, 2 week, 3 reversal, downside, 2-2 on the month, back down to 479.98. You know the deal. Already reversed on the day. You see how it rotates on the week. Shooter reversal takes you back down to 507.76, getting you back down to 479.31. You know the drill. Cascading setups, domino effect, exactly how we want it. Next ticker, Walmart, inside week to the downside. We have a 3 reversal, gap fill back down. 2-1-2, we already a shooter 2 week, puts you back down at 125.10. Completely flipping continuity in a month, turning you into a massive inverted hammer on the month. Full target over long term is going to be 120.05. And so we're talking about in a matter of a week or two on that, because there's indeed more selling coming on SPX and SPY. Just following the strength. Let's stay ahead in that sector. Next ticker, TGT. We have 2-2 reversal on the week. Came, hit target, went through 2 pivots. We have an inverted hammer, 3 on the 2 week. Target is taking us back down to 147.29, finishing a 2-2 reversal on the month to 139.22, putting us back down at the lows of the year. Flipping continuity red on the quarter. Pay attention. Still more trend going here. Now, Starbucks, not to be confused with Starbucks, which is an actual company that we in the group thought Charlie was talking about whenever he kept saying Starbucks. Okay, he was saying Starbucks, not Starbucks. Gotcha. So we have inverted hammer right now on the week. Looks good. So If that entry on a 2-2 reversal on a 2-week flips continuity on the on the month, then that puts you at target at 75.54. Look at the day, top right. It's a ways of a way down. Take it if you get the trigger. If you like the setup, you don't have to. I will. Anyways, lows, big 3 on the day. 2-2 reversal week has not hit target, but it did move in force, setting up a shooter on the 2-week target of 187.96, completely flipping continuity on the month, back down to looks like the low of the month, target overall low of the year. Get you back down there pretty quick. 174.75 is the range. So the entry trigger on that will be the low of the week. Next up, matter of fact, let's move this one to the back of the line. I'll get to that one last. Duke Energy 2-2 reversal on the 2-week is the trigger entry, target of 107.35, which completely flips continuity on the month. That sets up 1-2-2 reversal, target of 96.63 as that low over that period throughout September. If you look at the daily chart, that is a ways away. That is where the demand zone is at. That's where continuity is flowing. You already know what to do. Let's see. SO. Once again, I'm pretty certain most of the bros have similar views on these setups already on their list. So I'm actually glad that I can see things that way, in that manner. Inside week, so I already know that they are seeing that. Continuity flip to the downside. Currently is a green 2-week, 2-1-2 to the downside. Flips continuity on the 2-week, 2-2 reversal, puts you back down at 174.69, which flips the month red 2-2 reversal back down to 69.84. If I'm talking too fast, let me know in the comments. I just want you to see things quickly, because the domino effect that occurs on these goes from the one time frame to the larger time frame to the next. Finding these setups is very simple. You just always want to ask yourself, if X reverses here and hits target, what will that make Y look like? Translation underneath. Think of it like that. Screenshot that, write it down, remember it. That's how you're going to find the setups that are going to go off. That's free game for you. Next on the list, Dominion Energy, inside week to the downside. Right here, we will have full time frame continuity after this 2-1-2 reversal, put you at 82.71, which sets up a 2-2 reversal on the 2-week, putting you at target of 80.91, setting up a flipping continuity on the month, full time frame continuity to the downside, setting up the week into the 2-week into the month. 1-2-2 reversal, sitting you back down at a low of 72.70. Are you catching my drift? It already reversed on the day. A 3 is a reversal in itself. Inside bar reversal down, setting up reversal on the 2-week, setting up reversal on the month. Catch. All right, last on the list is Tesla. We have a 2-2 reversal already set up. Now, another week, inverted hammer, or in this case, shooter. As you can see here, reversal, continuation on this puts you back down at, let's say, 279.04. Already giving you a 2-2 reversal on the 2-week. Giving you a 2-2 reversal on the 2-week, putting you at a 2-2 reversal on the month, putting you back down at 217.58 in that range, the low of July. That's my list for the week. Make sure you get those levels set. Make sure you have those alerts in your feed. Now, first up, investing for legacy. What you got for the pack to eat on this week?
Yes, sir. Welcome, Pack fam, YouTube family. Definitely got my bear hat on for the week, but I'm gonna start out with a few long setups that I like. Start there and get on to the nice. We know we love those puts, those bear meals. I'm actually looking forward to this week. So to start, I'm gonna start with VIX. VIX. I'm sure my brothers and we're all seeing this. We're all feeling bearish going to this market. Major indexes forming some ugly shooters on the month, and we're only got 3 more trading days to this week. So VIX is looking great. Nice PMG on the week. Time frame is the main thing I'm looking on when it comes to the VIX. But I do want to point out UVXY, another VIX play that another VIX what common stock that we play inside of it. They have different forms of the VIXs. I'm sorry, I don't want to get too technical there. Actually, I'm sorry, FICO, you'll cut that last part out for me, bro, about the VIX. But but with UVXY, what I do want to mention with UVXY, this one here, it made a new 52-week low. Shout out to the Pack family. It was actually a Pack member who mentioned this on the call Friday, who really intrigued me going into this week. But he mentioned, but it reached a new 52-week low, and then it took off from there. That happened a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, and it's only been going 2 up from there. I love that weekly chart. Nice strong doji on the previous week, and then a nice strong hammer going into this week. Beautiful PMG, and just making that 52-week low gives me more confidence that it found its bottom. So that's what I wanted to bring out. Wanted to bring into the light on make sure you guys understand that too there when it comes to the VIX. And it's looking chunky there, looking like some good meals that come in. Next, I want to bring up is China. Your boy loves him some China. If you haven't noticed, I know I kind of study China's plays often. They're on my daily watch list. They do relatively well when the market is correcting or running sideways. So I'm liking what I see. China finished very, very strong last week. Finished on some very strong news as well. Some very bullish news as far as China stocks working well with American companies to refile their extensions within the being listed within the American Stock Exchange. It's been rumors to where we're as bad as we're going to go into World War III with them, and they're going to cut off everything, all the way down to everything's running good. Between relationships are running good. So China is a very news-based stock sector. And so be mindful of that when you're going into them. But again, they run well relatively into the market. I'm really liking the setups on the monthly time frames in China. What I'm seeing, Baba in particular, I want to see. We only have 3 trading days again going into this next trading week before the new month start. I want to see that 322 rev on the month. It's finished. It looks like it's going to finish strong on the monthly time frame. So I'll be watching it for that reversal going into the September. And then also Baidu is another one I want to mention, one of my favorite China stocks as well. Baidu is another one that I mentioned. Same thing I'm watching for is a 122 rev going into the new month. So really watching Baba to finish strong. Just really waiting for China to finish strong this month and going to this next month with a nice reversal. So this is the main thing I'm watching out of China. Of course, energy. Man, we've been eating great off energy. I'm already in Halliburton. Some nice position going in Halliburton. Looking for that to continue. Finished very strong on the week while the whole market tanked. But a new energy play that I do want to mention is EPD is the energy play I definitely want to have on everybody's watch going into this. If you aren't already in the energy play, this one's setting up a nice entry possibility. Nice inside week break. So I would like an entry above that week and that day break above 27.27. EPD has been paying the pack well for some weeks now. We got in initially off of that 212 entry that happened in the week of July 11th. So we, that's the first call that I have for EPD, but this is another entry possibility. This stock pays well for sure. All analysts very bullish on this stock as well too. Nothing negative to say about anything about the company. All right, guys. Those are the long setups that I want to mention this week. Let's get to the bear plays, which is everywhere. But the Dow showing some nice setups. I'm liking GS, Goldman Sachs for the first one. GS, beautiful. It rejected off a monthly time, I have about 2 monthly time broad informations and a weekly that it kind of rejected off of. So, all those monthly time frames, the pack knows that's especially all those time frames lining up like that. And then the rejection is, something very bullish for us to look at, that we always kind of eat on for sure. But beautiful hammer on the week. Continuation to the downside, I would like an entry there on anything below 336, breaking that week and that day high. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, go plenty of room, magnitude to the downside. First target there would be 323. I have a nice point of control there around 323. And I like Goldman Sachs. Some nice chicken there to make for sure. Banks financials are also setting up, looking good for some puts. So that's even more confirmation for you. One thing I do about Goldman Sachs, it will everything full time frame continuity under the week and under to the downside. The month will something to be watching out. The month will be going red as well under 331. So that's when you could be super confident in this play to the downside. Next play that I want to bring up in the Dow that I'm bearish on is Walmart. See some beautiful room to the downside on Walmart right now after a nice earnings run out of Walmart. I want to see. I like the entry on the inside week to break to the downside. Chicken. There's nothing else to say there. It's just market setting up for some nice puts. Nothing else to say. Full time frame. No, well, the month ago again with Walmart. Another thing worth watching. The month will go green in less than $1. About 131.15. I'm sorry, the 1 month will go red. So that's another thing to make you feel even better about this play, this Walmart put play. I'm liking next play is Apple. I'm loving Apple for some puts. Looking great for some puts. Plenty of magnitude to the downside. And we all know, if you know anything about the market, if the market is red, usually Apple is red as well too. It's definitely the biggest holdings in most major indexes. So no question that you should be seeking. If you're bearish on the overall market, you should be bearish on Apple as well too. So I'm gonna just keep that simple. Next thing I want to bring up is Harley Davidson. I don't have too much experience in playing this, but it checks all the packs play checklists as far as being a good potential play. Contracts look great. Not a lot of bodies over there, but the spread is still very tight, very great. And if we jump on it on this entry here, I'm sure the bodies will show up on this play as well when it comes to the Harley Davidson put play. But I'm liking the inside weak hammer break below. That would be just about below 39.87 for puts for entry. Again, I'm excited about this put play possibility. I don't have much experience, but between how the spreads are looking without any volume or much bodies, about 100 or 200 open interest on these contracts right now. I'm looking forward to watching them and seeing some more bodies jump on them and the spread getting even tighter. I like this hog play a lot. A few more that I want to mention is CEG. Now this has been a sleeping giant. This has been a sleeper for most people. I've never played this one myself, but it's been on my watch for a while for the very reason that it's been NASDAQ's best performing stock year to date for a while now. Most people, people who pay attention to that things would have heard of this stock because it's fairly young. It's a baby. It's about 3 quarters old. Not less than a year old. So it's been eaten for sure though. It's been performing very well. Only monthly contracts on this one, but with this doji on the week and with the overall sentiment in the market right now, with NASDAQ looking like it's about to take some nosedive, I think this NASDAQ play is due for a bit of a correction. Again, with this doji is usually signaling it's a nice reversal or change in price action. I think this strong doji, nice cross that is presented on the week. I like an entry below the week low, which would be about 79.51 for puts. I'll be watching CEG for some puts, some a bit of correcting. But again, it's full time frame continuity to the downside. Only things under the day is red, basically everything under the day. So that's when you want to see that week, you want to see that 2 day, you want to see that week, you want to see that 2 week start going red as well to feel confident about this play. Last thing I want to mention is Meta, Facebook. We know this thing has been taking a beating. It's been having some advertisement issues, and that was its main income forever. Been having some advertisement issues since Apple gave that privacy option for most of its users. And I'm liking the double inside shooter month that I see going. It's looking like it's more downside for Meta at this rate. I don't see it really passing, going under 130. I see a nice magnitude level to down there maybe. But this is one of the favorite companies. Major indexes are very bullish on this company still. I haven't seen, it's in a nice downtrend, so I want to take advantage of a pop to the downside. But Facebook, it's not full time frame continuity. It's the month and the quarter is still green, but you want to be watchful that the month will go red at under 157. The quarter would go under the red around the same range. So when you feel super confident, if we get that entry, basically that I'm the main entry, I'm looking forward to go double month down to the side. So 2112 to the downside on the month. But we'll see. It might go 2 down on the month before the new month even starts. So we'll just, that's just something that I see interesting in the market that I want to continue to monitor. So no immediate entry until I really want to see that monthly break on Facebook. And that's the last thing I want to bring up in the market. My brother we all kind of see the same things. Alphapack we kind of like, which is one of our superpowers. Back to you, FICO, brother.
Fire. I like that, Legacy. All right, next up, we got the homie Boss Gang VIP in the pivot. What you got for the pack to eat on this week, bro?
Yo, so you already know how we about to do. We about to do what we always do. We know why y'all here, so I'm gonna hurry up and get to it. Ton of short setups. I do have some bullish setups as well. First ticker I am going to be looking at is Affirm, ticker symbol AFRM. This thing is completely beat down right now. Tons of broadening formations to the downside, lots of magnitude. So I'm looking for entries to the downside on Affirm below 2405. So pretty clean there. Get your broad informations on there. I see a lot of blood over there. The next ticker I am going to be looking at is Beyond. Beyond looks ugly. I've drawn broad informations on Beyond. The downside magnitude on this is absolutely amazing. I've spoke about before. I'm not a big fan of the quote unquote healthy foods. I'm a bigger fan of McDonald's and Coke personally as stocks and things to hold long term. But Beyond, a lot of downside levels below $24.61. Something else I'm going to be looking at, semiconductors. First semiconductor I'm going to be looking at to the downside is AMD. Looking at AMD, I have levels below $90.90 on AMD. We have a ton of downside potential for AMD. Sticking with semiconductors, another one I'm going to be looking at for the downside is MU. MU to the downside. I have levels on the week below $57.36 on MU. Another company I'm going to look short is Coinbase. I'm looking for levels on Coinbase below $65.34 on Coinbase. The next bearish setup I'm going to be looking at is PENN Gaming, PENN. PENN Gaming, another short position. I am looking at levels below $32.18 on PENN. I want to continue that downside there. If the market is going to go down, I'm going to have to look at Google, GOOG, one of the big dogs, Google. So we're going to take Google to the downside. If you look at the week to the left, you see these threes and different things. These are some awesome targets there. 111.22 entries to the downside. I'm actually going to, one more downside, bonds. This particular bond, high yield junk bond ETF, is what I call it HYG. Looking for some downside on HYG below $75.74. Not a quick trigger to the downside on HYG. Couple bullish setups. One in materials, copper. Shout out to my man Paul Paletta, Spicy P. We've been tracking SCCO for a minute. Southern Copper. Immaculate 3-2 down hammer on the quarter. I want to see what this does here. Have a entry on SCCO above $51.67. There's a few people at the party on the contracts. I would like to see more volume come in on those for sure. Once it starts to move, that's what I expect. The last trigger I'm going to be looking at for this week is FRO. FRO, it's another energy play, Frontline. I have a couple entries on Frontline. I have a day and a weekly entry. The day entry that I'm looking for is above $11.96. And the weekly entry I'm looking for is above $12.35. So this week for me, it feels easy. I don't know if it's going to be as easy as it feels, but there are clearly things that are showing strength right now, and there are clearly things that are showing weakness. And our job is to position ourselves accordingly. That's all I got, FICO. I expect to have a great week. Back to you.
Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Okay, let's get it. Mr. Check My Resume. Mr. End Your Friday Early. What you got for the pack to eat on this week?
Man, what's good with it, FICO, man? I appreciate it, man. Got a few things to look at this week. We got a lot of downside setups, but there are some upside opportunities as well. So first off, what I want to look into is LMT, and this will be a downside trigger. The LMT to the downside. First, I'm looking at this weekly level trigger. We had the outside day on Friday. We are at a broadening formation level, but it broke through that pretty easily on Friday as price action, as we saw in a lot of things. So I'm looking for LMT to break this 212 down below 430 and complete its downside movement, probably in the 427, 425 range. We'll see how far it wants to push down below that. But if we get some really strong continued selling next week, I could see 417 as the next broader formation level, 415. So keep an eye on LMT for that retracement there. And next one I'm looking at, and that is a weak level trigger on LMT. Next one I'm looking at is surprisingly in the Staples sector, because Staples is pretty bullish, but I got Chunky Soup, CPB, potentially pushing down here off the weak trigger. Looking at this 212 off of the outside day from Friday. Looking at that 212 down, I would be interested to see if it can complete the move down to this broadening formation around 49.80. Would be a level that I'm looking at on CPB, which is a decent move with this ticker. We're not looking for a huge move on the underlying. So I'm looking for that to come back to that broadening formation. From there, I would expect for this one to reverse back to the upside, like the rest of the sector has been doing. Next one I want to talk about is SO. And this one's more of, I think, on the TTO variety, but I'm looking at SO potentially to continue this move to the downside. It's still got a little more action that I believe to the downside to reach this next broadening formation. So I'm looking at a level of around, you got $78 flat, but then you got $77.70. And if we really get some strong selling, I'm looking at a level of like $76.30. And then from there, I could see this thing taking the TTO back to the upside on SO. But we got some short-term downside setups. Price is moving fast, so we'll see if that continues going into next week, which I think it will. Another setup I'm looking at here is Walmart, WMT, ticker here. Coming off this outside day, Walmart stopped. It broke through one broadening formation and stopped just above another from the weak level. So we'll see what happens when it comes in contact with that. But we're looking at a level for that broadening formation at about 131. We have an entry level of like 131.50 or just below that. So we'll kind of see what happens with that broadening formation before the entry occurs. So we'll be able to, or right at entry, I should say. So we'll be able to determine if price is respecting that broadening formation or if it's just going to gap, if it's already gapped below it, whatever the case may be. We'll be able to kind of see what happens with that one pretty quickly. And, it could be a situation like in Staples, these inflationary type companies, I could see those getting bought up. So we'll see what happens next week. But Walmart, I've got this downside set up off the week. It's like a 2-1-2 here to the downside. Next one I'm looking at, this is an upside setup. Looking at VXX. Interestingly, it did not go off like the other two did. Well, it did some good movement on Friday, but I guess if you compare the tickers to the week, it did not have as strong of a move compared to UVXY or VIX. So I expect to see more bearish activity going into next week. So I would, see this one as more lagging, and it's a potential one that you could take advantage of next week. So this one here, I'm looking for, you got the week trigger level of 2-2 rev above 2165. You're really looking for a 2-up continuation here on the day, which is at 2120 as well. So you'll be looking at some levels to see if price on VXX continues in that form. So let's keep it going. And then next one I want to talk about is bonds a little bit. Shout out to that boy Spicy P with that TLT. Especially when we're getting bearish activity, these bonds start to pick up a little bit and get a little hot. So what we're looking at here on TLT, 20-year bond is a weekly reversal here on the week above 113.99. That'll give you a 2-2 rev on the week. I can see this one pushing up to the top of this broad formation range, just above 120, maybe 123 it'll top out at, but that's what I'm looking at to target the top of this broad formation at about 123 here. So that's TLT. That's a weekly level trigger. And then as far as upside, well, TLT was an upside, but some other thoughts in terms of other upside moves is, first off, energy as well as staples both look pretty strong. We're still in MO. Despite it having to pull down on Friday, it still 2 up on the week, still looks pretty strong, as well as our energy play, CVX, XOM, Oxy, you name it, PBR. I mean, all of those are still moving in force to the upside. So just be mindful of, what's in force and what's actually going to get pulled down. So I would lean more towards inflationary stocks to benefit from this, and, those that like discretionaries will not, as you can see, price action. So we'll see what happens going into next week. And that's all I got, FICO. I turn it back over to you.
Man, fire. Once again, as always, seeing things exactly the way y'all seeing. Hey, this week is going to be magnificent once again. Boss Gang VIP already know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to do one thing real quick before we get up out of here. Make sure you like, subscribe, click the notification bell before we get up out of here. And look, make sure you got those levels set. Make sure you have those alerts set. You don't want to miss anything, especially if you are one that is working. Look, we're going to have a magnificent week. The way you view things in the world, look, the outcome of your life, and especially in this trading game, is going to start, first of all, with how you see the world and the 6 inches between your ears. Starts right here, baby. It's all in the mind. First, you got to believe. I'm your boy, FICO Jordan. Appreciate y'all for being here with me. We out.